Hello, everybody. This is Dropkick News Wrestling Podcast. I'm Joe Puglisi, and I'm here with my host, Brian Smith.
Hello.
Tonight, we're going to be reviewing Hell in a Cell 2015. First off, I want to get the overall feeling from the pay-per-view. I thought it was probably the best Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that we've probably had in their history. Was it about 7 years or something?
Yeah, 2009. Yep.
So that's 6 years, right?
Yeah. This was the 6th Hell in a Cell. Yeah, probably the best Hell in a Cell. You see, the key to this one is when they actually have cell matches that mean something and the story is there for a cell match to happen, it usually delivers. Whereas in the past, you would get just a title match that they would put in a cell just because the pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell, and there's no real story there. It's just I have two guys having a cell match. Then there's really none of that strong feeling. The fans don't really get into it as much, but they got into Bray and Roman, they got into Brock and Taker because they meant something. They had a story that was in place for them to build up to this, and the Hell in a Cell matches were the end of their feuds, as they should have been.
Well, isn't Taker's scheduled for Survivor Series, right?
Yes.
Not against Brock or anything?
Nope.
No
That
opponent?
feud's done.
No opponent announced?
Probably going to be the Wyatt family.
Oh, you're right. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I found that both Hell in a Cell matches both delivered, and that's probably the first time on the pay-per-view, in the pay-per-view's history, that both cell matches, if they had more than one,
Yes.
delivered equally.
It's probably the best Hell in a... Both of them were probably the better Hell in a Cell. Not as good as Triple H and Taker at WrestleMania, but probably the two best Hell in a Cell since that match.
Since,
WrestleMania 28.
Right.
Yeah. The one time they actually didn't have Hell in a Cell. I had a Hell in a Cell match that wasn't at Hell in a Cell, but started off.
All right, so it opened up with Cena coming out with his entrance to good Cia Boos, as per usual.
Yeah, John
Or
Cena
were they
sucks.
there in Staples Center or something,
Yes,
right?
Los Angeles.
Yeah, and he cuts his U.S. Open promo, which was thankfully short, as most of his Raw ones tend to kind of carry on and on and on.
And on.
But we were surprised when the Real Americans music hits and Zeb Coulter comes out in his little handicap riding chair.
I was pretty sure this was going to be the fourth time,
mobile scooter.
fourth attempt of repackaging Jack Swagger, but no.
Yeah, it would have been. I was kind of looking forward to little Jack Swagger when they said it, but I knew I would just care for the first match,
They've
like
gone
the
to that
match
well.
against Cena, and then a week or two later, I'd be like,
They've gone to
I'm
that
over
well
this.
too many times with Swagger. He just isn't a top guy.
Right,
He'll never
but to our surprise, it was Zeb cut a promo that they like a face promo, I guess, where he wanted to connect all countries and equally. It's not about America anymore. Who wants to make the world great, not our single nation great. And surprisingly enough, the man he's now managing is none other than Alberto Del Rio.
Yes.
Returning from over a year absence, right?
Yeah.
Probably about...
Evidently, the guy that slapped him has been long fired.
Well, that's good.
And also, this was apparently had been planned for weeks. It was always going to be Del Rio. And there wasn't... all the rumors of all the other guys, nope, it was always going to be Del Rio.
Well, that's
they
good.
had their plan.
And no one really even saw this coming.
Yes, he's actually the AAA Mega Champion.
Currently?
Yes, the current AAA Mega Champion. He might actually... He still has dates to finish out down there, I've heard. And I don't know how significant that belt is, but he holds a belt in another company and now holds a belt in WWE. That's pretty interesting.
That's weird that Vince would be okay with that. But of late, they have been with people wrestling different...
This shows how desperate they are for a spinning
wrestling
star.
for different companies, like how most NXT talent now is allowed to work independent events.
Yeah.
Usually if they had priorly booked independent events to be signed, like Samoa Joe
and their
got to work some.
relationship with Evolve now and such.
Right, they've been pulling...
Sami Zayn was on an Evolve pay-per-view.
Right. When?
Well, recently. He made an appearance at a recent pay-per-view. He wasn't allowed to wrestle.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But he was there.
All right. So then we got Cena versus ADR, and I thought it was a very good match. One of their better in their feuds.
It was very short.
Yes, it was
Under 10
very,
minutes.
very short, which was surprising.
It was basically playing out like any other match you would see between these two, except when Cena countered the AA, when the Cena went for the AA, it got countered, and then they went right into the finish, which shocked everyone.
Yeah, it was weird that he hit him with a backstabber and then a super kick into the pin, which it was weird to see that because ADR's only had a submission finisher for his entire career.
He's won with that kick before, but not
Yeah,
not pinning Cena like
No.
that. That was I can't believe Cena went down like that.
There was no big kick out by Cena in
No.
the entire match. That he just did the job.
In 7 minutes, I think 7.5 minutes, he lost to him. He lost clean in the middle to Del Rio. I couldn't believe it.
And I don't know whether to chalk that up to just the fact that they needed to write Cena off of TV, or which of course is one of
They
the
did.
reasons,
They have.
or if they do plan on pushing Del Rio like to
That
main
is,
event
that
status.
is I think that is the plan. Maybe not to world title, but definitely will be the U.S. champion for the next few months and have a good reign with it and feud with some interesting. Because you got some fresh matches in store for Del Rio. Cause there's a lot of up and coming guys he can face, and he'll always produce with them because he's one of the best in ring workers they have. So
Yeah, it's good to see Del Rio back. I remember we were out like coming home from a baseball game when
when
we
he
got
got
the
fired,
report.
yes.
When
It
was
was almost
that?
we almost like it's funny because when he got fired, he's like, who cares? Because he wasn't
Right.
anything. He wasn't anything at that point. But now he comes back and he's this big conquering hero. Fans loved him.
Yeah, yeah.
Chance. And it was almost like when they took Ricardo away from him, it's like everyone stopped caring, and now he's with Zeb. So maybe that is why they decided to do it. Because when he's been on his own, it hasn't really worked out for him. He hasn't gotten that over. But when he had somebody with him, whether it's Ricardo or Zeb now, it makes him that much more over. Ricardo, I don't think is coming back, but maybe they will for a one-off or something. That'd be fun.
Isn't he like wrestling in AAA?
I don't know what Ricardo's doing. Kind of feel bad for the guy because once they split him up, he just had nothing to do.
All right. So the next match was Roman and Bray Wyatt, and I was kind of shocked that they went to the Hell in a Cell match this early. But when you got to spread them out evenly, and it was a good way to keep the momentum going because usually the second match is kind of where they stick, something like junky that no one really cares about, whether it's on Raw or on a pay-per-view. It's kind of stick like it's the death spot.
Yeah.
And they turned that around because it was what I thought was the best match of the night until the main event just exceeded all of its expectations. It was absolutely incredibly awesome.
Excellent Hell in a Cell match, and the best way possible of ending this feud that's been going on since I believe May or June.
That was another thing because this feud has been going on for a while, but you never really got interested in it, and we kind of both went into this match with low standards, Roman and Bray are gonna have a Hell in a Cell match, whatever. But it was absolutely awesome.
And they didn't overthink it. No interference in a cage match. They were actually in the cage. No trickery of somehow the Wyatt family's getting in there. It was great. 3 table spots.
Yeah, 3 of them. They were absolutely crazy too, and there was a lot of apron
moves. Yeah,
moves
from. I believe there was a power bomb through a table. There was
off the apron.
There was that was just a normal.
Was that the one on the top rope?
The rock bottom move from the apron through the table, and then the spear through the table, which was sick. I've never seen that done like that before, and where Roman basically dove head first right through the table to take out Wyatt. They did some other cool stuff, like Wyatt had hung the kendo sticks up in the cage wall. He put a chair in the wall, and that backfired on him.
Yeah, but that was so innovative. I've never seen someone stick the chair legs through the cell, the grated cell wall, or a kendo stick through the corner. I believe one of them
tied up both of the sticks together in their hand and started hitting them with both sticks.
Yeah, it was Roman. He was dual wielding kendo sticks.
And the only problem with this match from a, I guess, booking perspective is that the crowd was split, and they were chants of "Let's go Roman sucks,"
right?
Which isn't good if it's telling you that he's going to be the next John Cena. Fans are already chanting that at him at this point. And it also seemed to be like the girls and the young kids were chanting Roman, let's go Roman, and the guys were chanting Roman sucks, which is exactly what happens with Cena too.
It was weird. I was kind of rooting for Roman in this match.
Oh, I wanted him to win because if that's how it should be. A babyface should go over in the final encounter.
Right.
This is actually how a feud should have been booked. It went on a little bit too long, but Roman didn't actually get a one-on-one victory over him until right here.
Yeah, and a good way for the feud to absolutely go out.
Yes.
Because it was a tremendous match, and it kind of now makes me look back on their feud like fondly.
Yeah. Whereas it was boring and like because you knew like every segment on the show was going to involve both of them in some way, and you just didn't really care. It's a good way of them going out, and it actually makes you take a whole new perspective on the feud, like you said. It seems like it's a much better feud now just because of that match.
Right.
It had a good payoff.
And the next match that we had after it was the Dudleys versus the New Day, and that ended up being kind of like just a whatever match. They've fought each other like 50 billion times since like the past 3 weeks.
The New Day are now unicorns, apparently.
Yeah, for unicorns for Xavier or something.
They have
I'm sure when
they have a
Xavier
new thing every like few weeks.
I'm sure when Xavier sent out that tweet, he didn't think that they were gonna run with it all over the place on Raw and pay-per-views.
Oh, they have a new T-shirt.
Do
The
they?
unicorns that was out last week.
Oh,
So it's been in the works.
are you serious?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
It looks like the loser sign though. It looks like Brie Bella,
Yeah.
but it is unicorns. Unicorn power.
Unicorns.
Xavier, congrats to Xavier. He got married this weekend. That's why he wasn't there.
Did he?
Yeah, that's why he wasn't there.
Oh, I thought like
They just
I
wrote
thought
him
he was
off.
just selling that injury.
Well, yeah, they did that because he's getting married this weekend. So congrats
I
to
didn't
him.
know that.
Kofi made a white Kamala reference as well.
Yeah.
Caucasian Kamala. There were a lot of fat jokes on this show.
Which made no sense to me. The Caucasian Kamala because it's not like Kofi's Caucasian.
He said he was going to beat Bubba Ray's chest like a Caucasian Kamala. That's, I believe, what the line was.
Oh, okay, that makes
Yeah.
a little more sense.
And between this and
Yeah.
what happened with Kevin Owens later, a lot of picking on fat people on this show.
Why is that the Kamala?
Well, they were basically saying that Bubba Ray Dudley is fat. And
Oh,
and
right.
Banner's chest.
Yeah. I get this whole reference is just going over my
Yeah.
head.
Man, it happened last night, so don't
Right.
blame you. There was the Eddie Guerrero spot with a trombone.
Yeah. Which was pretty funny. Only like Kofi was the perfect person to be able to do the trombone spot with his new goofy New Day gimmick. Like only Kofi or Xavier could like do something like that.
Yep.
Or maybe
Great.
R-Truth.
R-Truth.
R-Truth could definitely do something like that.
Yeah.
And that was great. Throwing the trombone to Bubba Ray and then flopping onto the ring so the ref thinks that Bubba Ray hit him with the
That was
trombone.
the longest tease ever for a ref calling for the bell. It was staring him down. It was like, "Don't you do it! Don't you do it! Telling you, don't ring that bell. I didn't hit him." And he kept looking back and forth, and he decided not to do
So
it.
yeah, I
but
guess
then,
it was a trombone trombone spot.
yes, but then Biggie just picked up the trombone anyway and hit him, and then Kofi.
Oh, true.
Kofi had trouble in paradise and pinned him for the win. So New Day retained their belts on this show,
Yeah, Viva La Raza.
which nobody saw coming. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, it's I don't know how I feel. Like I like the Dudleys and all, but
There's no other teams for the New Day.
I don't
to
want.
face.
Yeah, I don't want the
Except
Dudleys.
unless they bring they got to I'd imagine the Usos have got.
Dude, I do want the Dudleys to win and get 10, but I don't want them to beat the New Day.
Yeah.
Because I want the New Day's hot right now, and you don't want
The
to
best
take
way for them to
anything
do
off
it
of
would be if they do like a 3 or a 4-way at TLC and the Dudleys win it there.
Right. Only if they don't pin the New Day.
Yeah.
Because
They don't pin them for the belts. Yeah.
yeah, because they're way too hot right now, and you don't want to take them away to
Mm-hmm.
go feed some like old dudes like their glory.
And,
They've
yeah.
already won 9 of them.
And it's got to be the Usos have got to be coming back soon because they have nobody else in that tag division right now that would be able to face the New Day.
Right.
Lucha Dragons, forget it. The Ascension,
I haven't
forget
seen
it.
the Lucha Dragons in a
Los
little while.
Matadores, forget it.
Oh,
So
Los Matadores.
I haven't seen them in forever either.
No.
There's no other tag teams really.
Yeah. And so yeah, get the
Let's
get the
hot shot.
Usos-
Let's get a campaign going to hot shot Blake and Murphy to the main roster. Why not?
Why?
Or
there's more people like Enzo and Cass have been there for a while.
yeah, they
Their
need to they need to be coming up.
Their
soon.
characters are fully
I
developed.
think Big Cass actually hurt his leg. He might be
Oh,
out
yeah.
for a while. So let's just move on from the tag team scene.
All right. So the next match that we have is Nikki and Charlotte. It was the Divas tag match or not
Divas
tag
title.
just Divas title match. Yeah.
Why isn't every Divas match nobody at ringside? This was instantly 10 times better just for not having people at ringside.
Come on, Nikki.
Yeah, that not hearing that. Nikki Bella becomes like a ring general, like a John Cena in the ring, with no like come on Nikki at ringside.
Yeah, she really drags it down. And yeah, that was. That was nice that they just had Nikki and Charlotte come out. It wasn't announced or anything. No one was banned from ringside.
I think it was on the pre-show. We just didn't watch.
True that. Maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
no one was allowed at
the
ringside.
best.
It was for the best. It was a pretty. I think this was the best non-cell match on the show. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, it was better than
Well, I guess
Kane and Seth, which we'll get to.
Yeah, the next couple matches were
it was
lame.
longer than the Cena match.
Right.
And yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match actually. With nobody at ringside, that's just what makes it better.
Yeah, and so Charlotte ended up winning the match with a figure eight.
A very sloppily done figure eight.
Yeah, there's a few sloppy things in the match.
The Alabama slam on the apron was sick though.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That looked like she.
There's also like Charlotte's flip off the top rope, and that kind of looked a little.
I don't know
weird.
what that was.
It was like she was supposed to be countering out of like a Hurricane Rana or something.
It was
it was like a German, yeah.
The super German. She was supposed to like land on her feet. I don't know.
So like, and Nikki just ends up kind of like jumping backwards.
They expect so much out of these women. Like they try to make them do these ridiculous spots that they can't do, but still want them to try it anyway. Like when Naomi tried to reverse Rana on Paige, like that's not gonna work. Paige landed right on her head and almost killed herself.
Right. The only people that can pull off reverse Ranas.
Even
crazy like luchadors.
Yeah, because even like the Bayley
Neville.
Sasha Banks one was great, but Sasha Banks landed on her head.
Right.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, because you see it a lot in like Lucha Underground reverse Ranas, and the only time you see it in like WWE, Neville's done one successfully.
Yeah.
And and Bayley and Sasha Banks did it, and it took them from the top rope, and Sasha still landed on her head.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. So Paige and Becky ran out after the match to basically soil what was a pretty good match by a bad after angle. Because why are they still friends with Paige?
I don't know.
It's the slowest burn.
Yeah, it's terrible. That's what it is.
And it needs to end. And they're building to a Charlotte versus Paige match, but they're doing it in like the slowest, most methodical way ever. They just like that promo that she cut felt like it was just months ago, and it didn't even matter.
Right. But
move on.
Let's move to Kane versus Seth, and this match was all right. Like that's what you get with Kane.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I mean, Demon Kane is automatically better than just slacks and corporate Kane. He just looks better in the ring.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like an old man, even though he is. He's almost 50 years old, but he can move around still. He hit a pretty good DDT in the beginning.
Yeah. The match was all right.
It was pretty slow for a Seth match.
Yeah, slow for a Seth match, but that's what you kind of got to do with Kane. You got to drop down to his level.
Mm-hmm.
Him and like if you're working with him, Big Show, Mark Henry, you just got to drop down to their level. They're old, they're big, they're slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what you got to do. So Seth Rollins ends up hitting Kane with a pedigree after a table spot where
the table didn't break and Kane almost broke his back.
Yeah, just sounds about right.
But still, it's powerbombed Kane. It's a bunch of big men getting powerbombed in this show.
Was that a powerbomb?
Yeah, he powerbombed him. He flipped over.
Oh, yeah.
He got him off the announce table and then powerbombed him through.
Right.
Big Kane got powerbombed. So thank God Seth went over here 100% clean. No BS. He just pinned him.
It's weird because it's best because now Corporate Kane's gone. But in my heart, I just kind of wanted like I wanted to see Kane win a world title. This
was the last chance for that, I think.
He won one 17 years ago for one day. Like, come on, give him.
That was his only
more.
WWE title. I mean, he's been world champion before, but not only the WWE title for one day, which a lot of people didn't even see as making much sense back then.
Yeah,
that one day title run.
I mean, and he didn't even win it himself.
No.
He had to have the help of the Undertaker, who we'll be seeing later tonight. Shows two guys that were wrestling 17 years ago are still in prominent roles in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So the next match was Ryback versus Kevin Owens, and it was completely boring.
Not good.
It was very, very boring, very short.
It was like 5 minutes. They just wanted to get it out of the way.
Yeah,
got the death. This was the death spot right here.
Exactly.
They put the title match on before it because they knew that this was out there to die a death, which it did. No one really cared.
Right. They needed a lot of time.
These two guys just... I thought this would be a good matchup pairing, but it just doesn't really work.
No.
At least, but it's in good. What's good storytelling? At least Kevin Owens pinned him clean after winning somewhat cheaply on the last show.
Maybe they will like get a would have a better match if they gave him more time, but I don't really want to see them give him more time.
No, not really.
No, I don't really care. Just end that feud. Send Ryback on this R-Truth or something.
No.
Kevin Owens on to I don't know Ziggler.
R-Truth
as well.
Ziggler and Breeze.
Oh right.
I'm interested to see if they're gonna have a. They're probably gonna do a big tag match at Survivor Series with all these guys that are doing nothing right now, like Rusev, Sheamus,
R-Truth.
Barrett, the Dudleys, probably the Dudleys,
And R-Truth.
Ryback. Maybe R-Truth will get thrown in there. You never know. He'll be the first guy eliminated if he's in there.
Absolutely, but I will enjoy every minute of it. All right, so let's get to the main event, the big show of the night.
Main event.
And we're not talking about the 7-foot guy.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell. They have had a Hell in a Cell match prior, way back, maybe 2003.
I've never watched it.
Is it 2003?
2002.
2002. And it was a crazy, brutal match. I've seen some highlights of it. I think I watched like the end of it. I don't remember who won it though.
Lesnar won that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember that match was awesome though, from what I saw, and from reviews I've heard of it. And this match was none the different, even though it was like 13 years later.
Yep. 13 years. Undertaker is now 50 years old.
Yep, and Brock is still a spry, like 37-ish?
Yeah. He doesn't look like you wouldn't think so with the way he moves around in the ring and stuff.
Yeah. And so this match was great. And everything from all the absolutely crazy spots from near the end where they tore up the ring and took a devastating choke slam onto the wood paneling underneath the ring. That was awesome. They're both blading and bleeding like crazy.
Within 5 minutes, both of them had covered in blood.
Oh, yeah.
Vince sent a doctor out there, and Brock said, no, screw this.
Yeah,
I'm sending this doctor flying. Evidently, Vince was very upset about this blading. He did not like it.
Yeah, but what's Vince going to do?
He can't. Yeah, like the people love this main event. Like, this is the main event he had to put on this show. He's got to let these wrestlers do what they got to do. He'll find them. But I don't think they care.
No, they really don't. They get huge payments for working one match.
Brock loses about half of what he would make, but for just showing up and standing there.
Yeah.
That's what the fine would be. So whatever.
And there's almost a chair shot to the head, and I think Undertaker realized it last minute, like, oh, we're already getting fined. Let's not get fined again.
Yeah.
And he stopped the chair shot to the head and just acted as if it was like a counter.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just ended up smashing a chair into Taker's ribs, and it looked just as bad.
Taker actually did the chair, the trachea crusher move with the chair, where he puts it in his neck.
That was bad too.
Yeah, this was the same move that took Dolph Ziggler out for 2 months. Brock was up within the next 45 seconds or so.
Because Brock's a beast.
Yes.
And was it Undertaker managed to kick out of 2 F5s in very, very short succession.
I believe that was when the doctor... He hit an F5, kick out, doctor came out. Brock chucked the F5, then hit another... Or chucked the ref, the doctor, then hit another F5 for another 3 count, or near fall.
Yeah.
Suplex City also took a little bit to develop here. It wasn't right away.
Yeah, it probably...
And it was only Germans.
It took over 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty deep into the match when he started hitting Germans. So he he switched it up today. They also had a hilarious botch with the steel steps.
Right, wasn't it? Taker's on the ground, and Brock's gonna go drive the stairs into his chest or throat.
Well, the idea
something.
was, I think, Brock was supposed to get kicked. Taker was kicking the steps, and then Brock would fall, and his head would go into the little slot.
Right,
with the chair, and it would make it look like he hit his head. But there was some sort of miscommunication, and Brock...
I think Taker put up his legs at the right time. No, I thought he kind of did it at the right time. Taker Brock hesitated.
Awkwardly fell back, and the chairs landed right on his head.
Yeah, instead of it fake hitting his head, it ended up actually hitting his head. And it looked funny looking. I mean, Brock's a tough guy. It probably hurt, but he's probably over it.
And then Brock started ripping the tarp out from the ring out of nowhere. Yeah. Just grabbed it with his hand. Only Brock Lesnar would be able to do something like that.
Yeah, he just tore it. Well, I mean, if it was a designed spot, they probably had a very small tear. They probably left this very small tear with a blade in the middle of the ring.
Who does that? I've never seen that. He just in the middle of the match just grabs the tarp on the ground and just rips it.
And just rips it right open.
that exposed the wood, and then he got choke slammed on it,
Oh
which
my
looked
god.
like it killed him.
He did not bounce at all. He hit it and just like completely just crushed by the on the wood. It looked so tough to take. Thank God Brock is just one tough SOB because that looked like it hurt like hell.
Yes. Then Taker tombstone. He kicked out, right? And
Yeah,
then
he
Taker
tombstoned
him.
Brock. He looks like he intended to tombstone him on the woods, on the wood, but he just missed. He's old.
Yeah, it wasn't really that close.
He
The
missed
fans,
the wood.
the fans didn't see it though. They went nuts for that.
Yeah.
They bought it as a near fall.
And well, regardless, it's still a tombstone, so it
Yep.
doesn't really matter.
So then, Brock low blowed him. Revenge.
Yeah,
for all the low
hard
blows.
low blow
A stiff one, right to the right in the gonads.
Gonads.
We were saying the same word there, and hit an F5 and pinned him. 1, 2, 3. Again, just like the other match, a decisive, clean winner in what ends a long storyline.
Brock ends on top.
Well done.
Or finishes on top with in his Taker feud.
I don't know what's next for Brock here.
What's next? What's next for Taker? Because
We know
he's
what's
just a
next for Taker.
special attraction, and now he's going to Survivor Series.
He'll be in some tag matches. Survivor
Oh
Series.
right, we've talked about
You're
this.
forgetting this.
Right.
The thing that's interesting is Brock. I don't know if he's going to be wrestling at Survivor Series. I would like to think he might be in the Rumble match. I don't think him winning it is a good idea. I think you need
I think
to give
if
the
he's
winner.
going to be in the Rumble match, he has to win. So I think it's in his best
They
interest
could do
to
something where
stay
he,
away.
They could do something where he comes out, throws out like 5 or 6 guys, and then whoever he's facing at Mania comes out and throws him out or distracts him or something. They've done that.
Braun Strowman.
They've done that to set up a Goldberg Lesnar match. Goldberg came out, killed everyone, threw a bunch of guys out, and then Brock came in, F5'd him, and that caused Goldberg to get eliminated. But that Rumble doesn't exist in WWE's history, of course.
No,
We
it
all know
doesn't.
why.
And so that was Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, but
And
not yet.
well, that's what
That's
we
what
thought,
we thought
Hell in a
was
Cell was.
Taker was trying to spend about a minute trying to do a sit up.
Yeah, it was a major Taker suck fest. The crowd was eating it up, cheering
Yeah.
for him. Thank you, Taker, and we love you, and whatever.
And then
He finally stands up. He's about to leave the ring, and the Wyatt's music hits. It goes
Video,
black. It goes black, and all 4 Wyatt members come out. So Luke is back in the
unit. It's a 4-person unit
Luke's
for the
back
first
in
time.
the Wyatt family, thankfully.
Yeah, all the people that said that was gonna that Braun was replacing Rowan ended up being wrong. Rowan is still in there. It's a
Yeah.
4-person group now.
And that's great, because now they got a big faction,
Yeah.
and it's going to be Wyatt's versus a collection of people likely at Survivor
Yes.
Series.
Taker and whoever else he finds, probably Dean Ambrose, someone like that. Some
I
of the
will-
people that aren't probably going to be doing it much, or don't have much in the way of storylines right now.
Ziggler.
Ziggler. No, but
Ziggler always
Ziggler
gets
Breeze.
thrown in.
We've already talked about this.
Oh, damn it. Keep forgetting. I
Yeah.
don't know, Rusev.
Oh God. I actually wouldn't be surprised if it's like the
ADR?
Dudley Boys. No. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Taker, Kane, and like the Dudley Boys.
Right.
Because obviously Kane is also being involved here.
Maybe.
Yeah, clearly.
And so that was Hell in a Cell, because that's when right
They
after
carried
that
him out.
they carried him out, and it went to black, and that would conclude it. And I thought once again it was just a very good show.
Yes.
It delivered completely in the matches that it had to deliver.
Yeah, as
All
long
the
as
other
that-
the other ones were just like whatever, but they were gonna be whatever on any
Yeah.
show. And the mainly the heavily booked matches for the event went over clean. The right people won,
In the right ways.
right, in the right ways, and they just delivered. Those Hell in a Cell
Yeah.
matches were absolutely amazing. They're
Yeah.
worth the watch.
Definitely. It's also worth the watch for seeing Del Rio's return.
Right.
You know, the
too.
match wasn't nothing special, but yeah.
And to watch Cena just lay on the mat for 3 completely
On a
clean
kick. Yep.
in less than 10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes.
That's so shocking that Cena just did the job.
I think
like
I think they did it because he's going away for a while, so no one's gonna really remember it.
I know, but
And also,
they just buried the hell out of him
they're not
regardless.
you can't bury. There's no burying Cena. Come
That's
on
a
now.
burial.
He'll come back and say he was injured. They were even. Michael Cole was probably. I think I'm almost certain at one point in the match he was saying Cena just doesn't look right tonight. So of
Right.
course they have to come up with some sort of excuse, or at least try to come up with an excuse.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Cena's out of the way, and Orton's out of the way too, which is kind of bad timing that he got hurt when Cena's going away. So these guys are gonna have to step up. These younger guys are gonna have to step up now.
Yeah, it's gonna
It's all
have
on
to
them.
be Seth, Roman,
Bray,
Bray, and I guess
Del
Brock
Rio.
and
That's why they brought Del
yeah,
Rio back.
Del Rio, and I guess Brock on his sporadic appearances.
I don't think
like,
he's coming back till January.
oh well, then
I think we've seen the last
well
of him
then
wrestling.
then we're gonna
this
get
year.
Taker
We will
for
get Taker.
his build for Survivor
Yes.
Series.
New Day
And
potentially.
it would
They were
only
high
make
on them.
sense if Taker is in a traditional Survivor Series match, because 25 years ago that's what
That's where
he
he started.
debuted in.
Coco
And
Beware has to be on the other team.
yes, so he can take the first ever tombstone, and the $1 Million Man has to be the $1 Million Man's team.
Mm.
He's got a secret weapon, the Undertaker. All right,
That's
so
it.
that was Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell 2015 is in the books. Next, Survivor Series. Thanks for listening.